mess you up while walking?
Oh, you're fine.
Where's that white thing? The camera holder?
Yep, we're streaming online live.
So why is it facing that way? Oh, because you're shooting it
Shooting
that
that
way.
way, yeah.
I hear that.
He's going to have it where people won't even come to the meeting.
I know.
Well,
$1,000 if you stay home. $100 if you come in.
the incentive is a little bit.
What? I was on there?
Yeah, it just went.
Behave yourself.
I'm trying.
Yeah, okay. No, it's okay.
Yeah. It's a little cozy. Go right over there.
If I could have your attention, please. If we could start filtering in and find a chair, we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. Thank you all for joining us here today for the Garden City Co-op annual meeting. Farming in the high plains of western Kansas is always a challenge, but this year we found it particularly challenging with some very confusing questions that we're trying to answer. First and foremost of those is the current devaluation of grain and where the grain price is, and the role that the lack of convergence of futures has played in that. And so we varied the program a little bit today, and the first part of the presentation will be focused on that. These are questions that are more complicated than your general manager or some of the other resources that we have locally can address. And so when we wanted to find you the best answer we could, we went to, of course, one of the leading agricultural land-grant institutions of Kansas State and offered an invitation to Dr. Art Barnaby. Dr. Barnaby has been with Kansas State since, I think, 1979 as a professor, and he has been a leading researcher and advocate of this current problem of basis and lack of convergence, both from a research end of things and as a consultant to the administrators and the legislators that may be able to play a role in that. We are very thankful that Dr. Barnaby opened up his schedule for us today. He was actually scheduled to be at a producer meeting in Ottawa, Kansas, and was so kind that he found some colleagues to cover that responsibility so he could be with you today and help us all understand what's going on. Dr. Barnaby received his PhD from Texas A&M and has been on staff at K-State since 1979, which will present an interesting situation for him in a couple of weeks at the Texas Bowl. But he assured me he is wearing purple today and he's a Bill Snyder fan, so we'll focus on lack of convergence and leave the football predictions for later. With that, please help me welcome Dr. Art Barnaby from Kansas State University.
Thank you. I was told to finish in 30 minutes, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about non-convergence in the futures markets. It may be the first time you've seen it, and this is one of those subject matters where you might want to see it a second time. I'm going to be back out here next Tuesday. We're close, by my standards anyway. Lane County, Dighton. Hope you all know where that is. And we're going to be doing an all-day workshop dealing with futures, options, commodity programs, case study. If you want more after you leave here, I would encourage you to consider that, and you can find out about it on Ag Manager, or you can contact the extension agent in your county or district, and they will have more information on it. Anyway, this work is underway, as was mentioned. I am with Kansas State University. I'm wearing purple. They write my check. I want to make sure that nobody confuses that I am with KU. I have nothing to do with KU. We all know about KU. They finally won a football game. You thought they'd won the national title. If you're a KU fan, I don't care. But they finally did win one.
Let's
I
talk
am
basketball.
basketball. Well, in basketball, they got the best professionals money can buy. In fact, if they turn pro, they have to take a pay cut. So, in any case, let's get on this. Yeah, you guys are going to get me off topic. Let's talk about non-convergence. Actually, you see three topics here, and we're not going to get through all these today. Non-convergence, what it is, then about how can you address it, and then how it affects crop insurance and other government programs, all of which will be covered in a longer time frame for those who want to travel to Dighton next Tuesday. Or you can go on Ag Manager, and I've created videotapes on each one of these topics. So if you didn't understand what I told you today, you get a chance to listen to me again. Basically, hopefully it's the same story. The simple definition is non-convergence occurs when futures and cash don't come to the same price during delivery period. In theory, if futures are at $4, at a delivery point, it should be $4. Now, Garden City is not a delivery point, but we do have delivery points in the state of Kansas, and there they are. At Hutchinson, Kansas, they should come together. Right now, Hutchinson, Kansas, those locations, they're not together, and we are in the delivery period for the December contract, so they should be coming together. Hutchinson, I think you'll find the cash price is probably $1 under. I haven't looked this morning. By the way, one other thing that might be worth something to you, the LDP today is 41 cents. 41 cents. This is the second shot that you've had at a 40-cent LDP payment. And that's quite a bit of money to leave on the table. Now, that is not a forecast, because if you take the 40 cents, sure as heck it'll go to 60 next week, and you'll say, Jesus, I shouldn't have listened to that idiot from K-State. So, I'll just tell you up front, this is the second time we've been. I got a real simple example of how a hedge works if you've not actually traded futures. But basically what you do is you sell futures, and let's just say you sold wheat at $5 on the board. There certainly were times when you could have done that. And at that point in time, the value of the crop is also $5, at least in theory. At harvest time, oops, hit the wrong button. At harvest time, we buy back the position at $4, and we sell at the local elevator at $4. If everything works the way it's supposed to, we have $1 gain in our futures account, and we lost $1 on the cash side. The net is 0, and that's exactly how a hedge is supposed to work. Okay? Now, what's different this year is we sold at 5. We're going to buy it back at 4, and that's about where we're at. These numbers are pretty close to what the real numbers are. Problem is, we got to sell at the elevator at 3, and in fact, it's not 3 today, it's 2.55, I believe is where we're at, as I was told earlier. So, the point is that we didn't get convergence at Hutchinson. Now, Hutchinson should be at $3, that means out here we're about 35 cents under, 40 cents under Hutchinson, puts us right around 360, 355, and that's about where you're at today. Pretty close, okay? Lots went through that, but you had $1 gain in your futures account. You lost $2 over on the cash side, so you came up $1 short. That's true for both the farmer who hedges the crop as well as the elevator who hedges the crop. Same game. Same game. If you didn't understand that, you have your opportunity to come spend the day going through all this next Tuesday. Okay? The September hard red ware wheat contract non-convergence is about 70 to 80 cents under. If anything, it's probably widened since I built that slide. Again, we're not talking Garden City, we're talking Hutchinson, Kansas. And the reason we say that is all you have to do is drive across the state and see all the wheat and corn and grain sorghum and everything laying on the ground. In one case, I know one elevator was taking no corn or sorghum. They wouldn't even buy it. The reason was they're completely full of wheat. So with that much grain, no storage, yeah, the futures is probably not the right price. It probably is the cash. What this chart is showing you is the difference between at delivery points, not out here. This is at delivery points. Now, back here in 2010, notice we had the same thing. In other words, back in 2010, we were trading at about 85 cents under at Hutchinson, Kansas, which means it would even be wider out here, at 85 under. Now, normally, and this is just during the delivery period, so we're looking at just the 14 days during the delivery period. So the chart rolls over to the next delivery period, and we're now out here. This is September going off. We'll have to add on to this chart, which will be the December contract. As it comes off, we will add that to this line, and we'll come out here a little further. I think it actually is weakened a little bit, but I don't know that for a fact. In any case, this is what we expect to look like. Because at a delivery point, we would expect that, we would expect it to be in this plus or minus dime range. That's just noise. But that's where you would expect it to be at. But again, that's during the delivery period at a delivery location. Delivery period at a location. And you notice it's gotten weaker. Now, anybody remember what wheat was on a basis and you're trading $8 wheat, that isn't quite the same as an 8,500 basis and you're trading $3 wheat, is it? So I converted all this into percentage terms. Percent lower or higher than the futures price. Again, cash versus futures. And in percentage terms, you can see it's now wider than it was back here in 2010. So it's actually worse in percentage terms, okay? We think the cash price is probably right. That contract. Probably when you first learned about futures and you went to one of our meetings, or if you graduated from K-State, the way it was explained to you is that you are going to sell wheat on the board, you're going to sell futures, and then at harvest time, you're going to buy that back or deliver 5,000 bushels to Hutchison. The problem with that is you can't deliver 5,000 bushels to Hutchison. Neither can the Garden City Co-op, by the way. You cannot deliver. There is nothing to arbitrage the contract. If there's no delivery, then what's going to drive futures and cash together? And if you don't have cash and futures coming together, you don't get this convergence and you don't get price discovery. So, I can summarize this to you in two quick points. Number one, you can't deliver. So don't go into a futures contract, particularly go in deep into the delivery period, thinking you've got an out. If all else fails, I can deliver. No, you can't. And if you get down to the end of that contract, say around the 12th or 13th of the month, where the liquidity is gone out of it, you may get caught in a long short squeeze where, yeah, you can get out, but at 50 over the market. Yeah, 50 over the market. You don't want to be there, is the point. And you need to know you don't have the option to deliver. Okay? The second point is, you probably think they're trading wheat. The reason I say that is because that paper has more value right now than does the underlying wheat. Right now, and if I want to convert it to real wheat, that paper to real wheat, what am I going to convert it at? They leave it in storage, and they roll their storage heads forward to December, to March, and they'll just keep gets converted, until that paper gets converted into wheat, you don't get delivery. Okay? So, the other thing that's a little bit different too, in some places they're using a warehouse shipping certificate on the soft wheat contract. Example where we went through the hedge, where's that dollar come from that went into the short account? That dollar came out of the account of the long. And so they like the game just the way it is. So what you do is you confuse the issue. We need to deliver on the wheat contract. 10.5. Doesn't have to be 13. But nonetheless, I suspect that if you actually could deliver, there'd be a day. And again, why I'm showing you these locations is these are delivery points. And we're at 8,500. I'm going to solve the problem. Now, it takes a little bit to figure this one out. But what we're talking about is as long as it pays not to convert the paper to wheat, no matter how much you deliver, it just sits there. It doesn't move. And eventually, you're going to run out of physical storage. I don't care how big the elevators are. Eventually, it's going to just fill up. So it simply won't move the wheat until you create an incentive to convert it out of paper and into wheat. The next one usually comes up is, let's just cash settle the contract. Well, the problem with cash settling the contract is you can't find anybody that agrees on the cash price. Now, I know you all know what the cash price is in Garden City, or there's somebody in the room that can tell you, but try doing that on a national scale that people will buy into. Any of you in the government program see this national average wheat price that determines your payments? K-State's estimate right now, you're shaking your head, yeah, $3.73. What idiot came up with that? You're looking at him. That is my forecast. 58 number come up with it. Well, their official story is that they get a survey from all the elevators, and the elevators report two numbers, total bushels they purchased and the total dollars paid during the month. They sum those two numbers and divide them, and that's your national average price. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have any insight to it. I do know wheat prices are higher in North Dakota and the Pacific Northwest, so maybe it's possible. The other thing is it's weighted. And we're now down to where the weights are smaller, so the prices, current cash prices have less impact on it. Anyway, and this is what I'm talking about. These are cash prices for St. Louis. And this is wheat, and it's not hard red winter wheat. It could be any class of wheat. But you know something strange about those prices? They're all the same. You notice that? This is USDA data, and they're all the same. That didn't look right to us. In fact, I'm sure it's not right. So we went off and pulled off the daily reports. That came out of a database. We don't know whether it's an error in the program. We don't know if it's an error in the data that was entered. We don't know how USDA came up with this number. This is from the same USDA agency, and these are the daily cash prices that we pulled off one contract. Actually, my colleague at Colby pulled these off. Art's too lazy to do that. He can't get it from the database. He doesn't want it. But anyway, he did pull them off one at a time and hand keyed them in. And you can see these prices look far more reasonable, and they're very different than the ones you just looked at, which are cash prices for St. Louis. So trying to tie down exactly what the cash price is not an easy thing to do. Sounds easy, but it's not. A researcher in Illinois says just double the storage rate. Double the storage rate, and that will cause people to convert that paper into wheat. That would be a very abrupt move in the market. I'm not sure that's a good idea, because you don't like surprises. Number two, putting that in place means the CME would have to act. In other words, the CME would have to decide we're not having convergence, and therefore we need to greatly increase the storage costs. I doubt that it actually be delivered on. Another theory, and this was actually considered by the Kansas City Board of Trade, with Kansas City, and then at that point you're out of the deal. It belongs to the lung. And it's up to the lung to find out where to store the grain. They got to figure out what. The second one is that this would really probably drive a lot of longs out of the market. And you don't really, also at times, if we had a properly working futures market, provides pricing opportunities. So that better it is for their bottom line. Farmers don't do a lot of trading. True hedgers, true farmers, generating a commission every time they roll a contract. If you're doing that, you're probably not hedging. 50 cents under the board. Cash was nearly $2.50 under the board at delivery points. Got so bad they had to do something. Gets an increase in the storage rate. And you keep increasing the storage rate till it has it. Corn, soybeans do not have it. The only one that has this variable storage rate is the Chicago soft wheat. And for the current period. Notice that back when the September came off the board, where it was really bad, why they put this variable storage rate in. But since then, it's pretty much behaved. Notice this little blip right here. Whoop. Back. City, when they got this problem, because they had this same problem back in 2000 marketing year, they increased the storage rate to roughly 9 cents a month. You get by with just doing the seasonal storage rate, and that was this little blip here. So when they went to the variable storage rate,